Hello everyone. Today we present to you the top 10 free games released on mobile. Before watching the video, put a like and subscribe to the channel. Enjoy the video.
Out of my way! You'll learn your lesson.
Blade of God, an offline game with a size of 3.6 gigabytes, available on Android and iPhone. Blade of God is a 3D action game featuring Chaos, a hero who faces all manner of enemies rooted in references to Nordic mythology. This vibrant hack and slash is inspired by genuine icons from within this genre like God of War and Darksiders. In this dark fantasy game, you experience thrilling confrontations against final bosses. In many of them you'll need to tap into your QTEs in order to deliver those final critical hits. To survive these battles you're going to need the right gear, including weapons and defensive equipment, but becoming a warrior like no other will also require a good deal of strategic planning from the game's hub. Blade of God is a terrific action game that'll transport you to a realm chock full of exhilarating combat and eye-popping visuals. This title is perfectly adapted to touch screens thanks to the accuracy of your heroes.
Like you?
Arcane Quest Legends, an offline game with a size of 1 gigabyte, available on Android and iPhone. Arcane Quest Legends is a true Diablo 2 or Titan Quest-style 3D action RPG set in the Kingdom of Auria, a fantasy world full of monsters and all kinds of dangers. Players control a character who, after losing his parents to evil dark knights, devotes himself to fighting the forces of evil. The Arcane Quest Legends world is vast and gives you a lot of freedom. You can move around the settings however you like, exploring new locations, fighting monsters, and of course, talking to NPCs. Most characters you come across in the game have quests or information for you, and some of them can even join your group as followers, fighting side by side with your character. Arcane Quest Legends is an excellent action RPG that manages to bring the feel of traditional hack and slash games to Android and iOS. The game's graphics are also pretty good and, unlike many other similar games, it doesn't need an internet connection. Creative Destruction, an online game with a size of 3 gigabytes, available on Android and iPhone. Creative Destruction is a battle royale that's openly inspired by Fortnite. Here up to 100 players can battle it out on an island full of weapons, but only one can make it out alive. As usual in games like this, you can play everyone versus everyone or in teams. In Creative Destruction, you have an enormous arsenal available to you with different types of shotguns, sniper rifles and assault rifles, all available in different colors that represent their level of rarity. Creative Destruction is an excellent title that easily compares to the big dogs in the genre for Android and iOS like PUBG and Knives Out. In fact, the game's graphics are incredible, at the same level as many titles for consoles or PC. Plus, when you start the game, you can choose between various different character models, which you can customize as you continue playing. One Piece Bounty Rush, an online game with a size of 300 megabytes, available on Android and iPhone. One Piece Bounty Rush is a real-time MOBA that challenges up to 4 players to join forces and face another group of pirates. Your objective to get more loot than the rival team. To do this you have to fight against the other players as well as other smaller enemies. The controls in One Piece Bounty Rush are really well adapted to touchscreens, with the stick on the left side of the screen and the attack buttons to the right. One Piece Bounty Rush lets you control a bunch of different characters that belong to 5 classes: warriors, support, shooters, swordsmen and tanks. One Piece Bounty Rush is an amazing MOBA that has excellent controls, outstanding visuals, different settings and a lot of charismatic characters. In the setup options you can also modify the visuals of the game to adapt them to the needs of your Android or iOS smartphone. Rogue Heist, an online game with a size of 1 GB, available on Android only. Rogue Heist is a multiplayer shooter where 2 teams of robbers fight for the same loot. Each team is made up of a maximum of 5 players, all of whom fight tooth and nail in exciting games around 5 minutes long. In Rogue Heist, you'll find several different game modes. Heist mode requires strategy and coordination, since your team's objective is to get to the loot before your opponents. Gang War, on the other hand, offers a classic team-based deathmatch, where your objective is simply to kill as many enemies as you can. Finally, with Brawl mode it's every man for himself as you fight to get the highest score. As is usual in this type of game, you start out with a couple of weapons and a single skin, but as you play, you can unlock much more. Rogue Heist is an excellent online shooter with exciting 5v5 games set in enormous scenarios. It also has great graphics that you can easily adjust to best suit your smartphone. Mobile Royale, an online game with a size of 850 megabytes, available on Android and iPhone. Mobile Royale is an RTS with management strategy gameplay where you forge your own empire and lead your troops onto the battlefield. Plus you'll also get to create alliances with other online players in order to join forces during combat against your shared enemies. Where Mobile Royale really shines brightest is on the battlefield. Players make their strategic moves in real time, summoning their heroes at precisely the right moment in order to make the most of each of their unique attack skills. In fact, each character has their own specific characteristics and special attacks that you can combine to launch spectacular synergy attack combos. Mobile Royale is an outstanding RTS in every sense of the word, starting with its graphics and battle systems. Standoff II, an online game with a size of 1.8 GB, available on Android and iPhone. Standoff II is a multiplayer Counter-Strike style FPS in which 2 teams face off inside relatively small settings. All the maps are clearly based on Counter-Strike maps. The control system of Standoff II is really well adapted to touchscreens, with a virtual D-pad on the left side of the screen and the gun's crosshair on the right. By default, your weapon's shooting button appears on both sides of the screen, which makes the action more comfortable for you. Standoff II's main game mode is a deathmatch, in which two teams battle against each other for 5 minutes. Unlike the original Counter-Strike, you only have to wait 5 seconds to respawn if you're killed. In total, Standoff II has 3 games modes, each one with unique features. Standoff II is a really fun 3D online FPS, with great graphics and loads of different weapons. The Lord of the Rings, an online game with a size of 2.2 gigabytes, available on Android and iPhone. The Lord of the Rings is a strategy game where you get to take control of one of the many factions from the Lord of the Rings universe. It's a game based on the epic franchise created by J.R.R. Tolkien, where you'll come across some of the most popular characters from the books and movies. After choosing which faction you want to start playing with, you'll have to start conquering territories to expand your empire and become the most powerful leader in this strategy MMO. It's not all about conquering territories, though constructing buildings and improving your base is just as important. Just like in other strategic management games, in The Lord of the Rings you have to wait a set time between constructions. However, you can always use up boosters to shave minutes off your wait time. Even though you can't directly control the combats, you have to position your troops on the ground to battle against other armies. The Lord of the Rings is a fantastic strategy game from one of the most popular franchises in history. It's always nice to return to the world created by Tolkien, especially when you get to do so by playing such a high-quality game. OnMyOG, an online game with a size of 4 gigabytes, available on Android and iPhone. OnMyOG is a popular JRPG based on Japanese folklore that turns you into a powerful sorcerer that can use his magical powers and even summon Shikigami spirits. Your objective here is to protect the world from demons and other unworldly creatures. The game is made up of turn-based combats with teams of up to 4 players. Each player has a number of special skills and attacks that can be used against any battle member. As you start overcoming the challenges, you'll start gaining resources that can be used to unlock new characters and enhance the ones you already have. OnMyOG is an interesting game that's backed by its total success across the Asian countries. Its excellent visual and audio values are sure to make any anime, JRPG and ancient Japanese culture lover have an amazing time.
10体 行くぞ
Shadowgun War Games, an online game with a size of 1.4 gigabytes, available on Android and iPhone. Shadowgun War Games is a multiplayer first-person hero shooter that's clearly inspired by Overwatch. This time you get to compete in several different game modes, including Capture the Flag and Team Deathmatch, plus you can either play with your friends or against random players from around the world. The control system in Shadowgun War Games is perfectly adapted to touchscreens. Move your character using your left thumb and aim with your right one. Shooting is per usual in games of the same genre as automatic. To use the sight of your gun, all you have to do is quickly double tap on the right side of the screen. Shadowgun War Games features 5 different heroes, each with their own unique arsenal of weapons and skills. There are only 3 characters available when you start playing, but you can unlock the rest as you continue to gain experience and level up. Plus you can also get new skins for your favorite heroes. Shadowgun War Games is a great multiplayer FPS that raises the bar of the genre for smartphones. It offers a gaming experience that's very close to what you can experience on PCs and consoles. Special mention goes to the excellent graphics section, which you can also customize and adjust using the options menu.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble.